Well, hello everyone and happy holiday weekend. I hope you get an extra day or two off this weekend and get out there and enjoy the beautiful weather now that it's not blazing hot anymore. We've got the just right weather at long last. My garden is certainly happy about that. At any rate, what we have before you, what we want to tell you today is, wow, a lot. There's maybe you need that extra day off in order to watch this whole video. I hope we won't go too long. I'll talk fast, try to be concise, and just discuss what's right in front of us right now, which happens to be a bottle of Burgundy and a peanut butter cookie. That's weird, except I'm just trying to relate to you how I have grown into certain things over my life. Like, I didn't emerge from the womb enjoying raw oysters, but I learned to enjoy them. Another thing I didn't really get into as a kid was peanut butter cookies. I'd get home, I'd hear the Hamilton Beach beater going on, and I'd run into the kitchen and say, "Mom, you're making cookies. What kind? What kind?" "I hope they're chocolate chip." "No, they're freaking peanut butter." I hated peanut butter cookies. I mean, yeah, they had a little sugar in them, so I would swallow them and enjoy them, but they weren't my cup of tea at the time. Well, I grew to like them. I love these things now. I made these yesterday. I love these things. They're great. In other words, you can grow into stuff. Burgundy, here we go, here's the point. Burgundy, which is red and white wine from a place in France called Burgundy. Yeah, it's pretty damn good. Red and white wine from a place called Burgundy is what's going to be celebrated at our next event. This is a wine type that took me a while to get to know. I did not emerge from the womb enjoying the Pinot Noir and Chardonnay as voiced from this land of Burgundy, France. They were delicate wines. I just didn't get them. When I was a young wine drinker, I understood big, fruit-forward California stuff. And now I've kind of evolved. I still like some of those goodies from right here, but I've broadened. And it took practice. It took a little open-mindedness. And now I cannot wait to share my excitement about this particular wine type with 24 of you on Tuesday, July 13th. I think I have that right. You can now see this posted on the website. It's available to 24 of you. That's it. And just so you know, there will be no spillover event because we have a private event up here on the mezzanine the next day. So I won't be able to do the sorry you couldn't make it on Tuesday. We're offering a second one on Wednesday deal. So red and white Burgundy all evening long. It should be at least 10 wines. It's probably, knowing me, going to be more like 12. And there will be things that you will expect, like a good white Burgundy, a good red Burgundy at decent pricing. And then we get into the fancier, more site-specific place names like Chassagne Montrachet. And then we have some surprises like this particular Chassagne Montrachet being red, not white. And many of us know that name as it refers to white wine. Chassagne Montrachet is best known for brilliant, beautiful Chardonnay, and I hope we have one of those. But I know we're going to be pouring this. It's a Pinot Noir from Chassagne Montrachet, and it's gorgeous. It's another way of our teaching that sometimes you go to an area that's not so famous for something, and then you get to save a little money. So there's great value in the reds from this particular area. Value that is within the context of Burgundy, which is kind of an expensive place. But we're trying to find you value all the time. We want to surprise you with things like this. We're going to pour aligoté, maybe two different aligotés. That's the other white grape of Burgundy, and it's fun to talk about. And we found you a really delicious one that we want to show you. So we hope you'll sign up. We hope those who enjoy sniffing their wine will sign up for Burgundy. And we'll certainly be using this glass. And we're going to be talking about this particular glass a lot today, because it will be employed at the Burgundy event, but it's also being employed all weekend long at our wine bar, starting last night and going through Sunday. So we'll be talking about this, but first let's tell you about some food items. We are so fortunate to have a staff member named Dawn, who, lovely woman, who does nothing but spend a lot of time here at the Wine Steward cutting the cheese. That's her profession. She's very good at it. And what she has just found us is a cheese from Vermont, and she wanted you to know about it this week. This is domestic, Vermont's in the United States. Bear Hill, it's cave-aged cheddar. It's aged for 5 months. It's not a cheddar, but it behaves kind of like a cheddar. Actually, we're having a bit of a tiff about whether it's more like Parmesan cheese or cheddar cheese. But in other words, the drying out time, all of those 5 months, the water kind of escaping from this cheese has made it a nice earthier, drier, cheddar-like cheese, Dawn. It's not Parmesan, at any rate. It's really good. It's a washed rind goat's milk cheese from Vermont, and we hope you will try this brand new cheese. Support our being adventurous with keeping that case full of variety. Support it by coming on in and trying what's new. You'll see this really proudly and loudly proclaimed on a sign down there. New Bear Hill, Vermont cheddar. It's not cheddar. All right, I'll shut up about that. We also want to tell you that also in the cooler downstairs, we have a brand new delivery of burrata. I know we play this song a lot, but we love burrata. And you may just finally have some nice cherry tomatoes in that back garden. The big guys might not be ready yet, but I've picked my first cherry tomatoes, and I'm gonna take some burrata home and have my little ensalada caprese with a little cherry tomatoes. Won't that be lovely? I've got basil too, so all you need is the burrata. Come on in and get it. Want to remind you that our lovely daughter Mary has filled the freezer once again, especially with biscuits this time. There are some scones down there. There's some gorgeous cookies that you take home and finish. But these are cheddar chive biscuits that would be lovely this Sunday morning, don't you think? Start your 4th of July off with the wonderful product nearly finished. All you have to do is finish it in your oven from a small local business named Bloom's End. So that's Mary Denham's project, Bloom's End. And if you follow her on Instagram, you'll also see where she's doing pop-ups throughout the Bay Area, and you'll be able to go buy her finished, fully finished things. She makes one of the best croissants I've ever had, and so on. So check that out. There's some food items, but there's actually one more if I can track it down. I know I brought it upstairs. Here it is. Dawn, the woman who spends her week here cutting the cheese, also makes beautiful, stinky, truffle flavored Marcona almonds. This is the newest version of Marcona almonds that we're offering, and she's been working on a recipe for quite a while now to get the amount right so that people who like enough truffle but not too much will be happy with what's going on here. Marcona almonds, we buy them raw from Spain and then we roast them here. I shouldn't say we because Dawn does all the work and all the innovating, and she's come up with our third Marcona almond type in the form of black truffle. Marcona's really good, pretty addictive. Get into that. Now, back to this glass shape that will be employed at our upcoming Burgundy event for 24 of you. Sign up today and also definitely order the cheese and meat platter that will be designed just for that event. It'll be fantastic. And you know, European wines are meant for food, or food is meant for European wines, we could say. They go together very, very well. And so we hope you'll order a cheese platter to fully understand the beautiful red and white Burgundies we show. This is the glass that you'll be swirling around all night and sniffing from. This is a great theater for wine. This is what we call the New World Pinot Noir glass, but we're finding that it is so good with so many different wines. I like a Cabernet glass for my Cabernets and my Bordeaux blends, but I flipped to this for nearly everything else lately. How about this? You know, how about this wine in this glass? And all you have to do is learn how to say it. In fact, I think if I get an email out today along with this video, I'm going to include another video for you that will be a little pronunciation guide for this Greek grape. It looks like Xenomavro, and that's what we were saying for years. It turns out we weren't saying it right. It's not Xenomavro, it's Xenomavro. Say it with gusto. At any rate, it's a red wine. It's a grape that acts a little bit like Nebbiolo from northern Italy, and it does really well in this glass. This just got here. This is the Guy's Young Vines. We've carried it before, but this is the brand new vintage, just arrived. It just peaks over $20. It's well worth those of you with a sense of adventure checking out. It is not threatening at all. It's not weird, but anticipates something a little bit like a Langhe Nebbiolo from northern Italy when you have Xenomavro. Hey, how about putting this into this? In fact, did you know that this glass can hold an entire bottle of wine? It'll come up to about here, really. Well, this is bigger than one bottle of wine. This is a Magnum. We only got 6 of these. Not everybody comes in asking for a Magnum of higher end Beaujolais, Cru Beaujolais, but this wine imported by Kermit Lynch is something that many of you should be interested in. Beaujolais, Cru Beaujolais that is, in a Magnum will age magnificently. We were able to pounce on just 6 of these, this Morgon That's the name of the crew. And I've loved this particular producer for a long time. So come in and ask about the magnums of Beaujolais. Did you know there even were such a thing? I'm not saying you really want Beaujolais Nouveau in a magnum. I'm saying you really ought to think about throwing one of these into your temperature controlled cellar and checking it out maybe 5 Thanksgivings from now. Really lovely stuff. At any rate, it would be great in this glass. Yes, I'm going to continue harping about this glass as we get into what we're pouring at the wine bar this weekend. Well, this happens to be open, so I am going to have some. Dr. Constantine Frank. Weird sounding name, kind of a, for we California wine drinkers, kind of an unusual sounding source too. This is the Finger Lakes region of New York. We've talked about it before, but it's been a while. And we just got re-excited about it because somebody came and poured, gosh, I think about 8 different Dr. Constantine Frank wines for us. This is a guy who came from the Ukraine, gosh, about 80 years ago now, and insisted that you could grow Vitis vinifera grape varieties. Those are the good ones like Chardonnay and Cab and such in New York. And the New Yorkers were saying, no, you can't. They're going to freeze. It won't work. He proved them wrong. And this pioneer of the Finger Lakes wine region of New York needs to be heard. I want you to hear his voice, see the guy. I learned a lot by watching the 2.5 minute long video that the winery provides on their website. So I think I'm going to connect that to our email out to you too. So you got not one video from us, but 2 others to watch as well, if you will. With these little nuggets, you will learn a lot about some useful wines. This is a Brut that is 2013. That's pretty cool. It spent, I think, about 5 years en tirage around its lees during that second fermentation. And that gave it more than just fruit, more mysterious qualities. There is fruit, but there's also something like dried flowers and perhaps even a slight mushroom quality in an attractive way. It's great, complex, sparkling wine for under $30. Happens in the Finger Lakes. Happens by Dr. Constantine Frank. We lost him about, I think, 25 years ago now, but his family, it's still in the family, 4th generation now, working on wines here at this beautiful place. So we intend to have a whole event built around their wines, maybe this fall. But in the meantime, try this, will you? What else is going on the wine bar? From our good friend Adam Webb, Cochon reappears. This is probably our favorite domestic rosé of the year. It's 90% Cinsault from the oldest Cinsault vineyard in the entire world. Yes, that happens to be out in Lodi. It's not in France. The oldest Cinsault vineyard in the world is the Bechtold vineyard, and 90% Bechtold fruit is represented here. So check it out. It's a great rosé. We love it. And then we are going to tell you about a couple of Oregon wines. I had just tasted these this week and said we have to have these on the wine bar immediately. So this is Pinot Blanc, and Pinot Blanc, that grape, that white grape, is a mutation of the red Pinot Noir. Pinot Noir is a rather unstable grape variety. Excuse me, it's known for mutating into different clones, and sometimes the clone is so different looking or tasting that we just say, hey, let's just call that a different grape variety, hence Pinot Blanc. You might have this grapevine out there, a Pinot Noir vine, where all of a sudden one of the canes, I should say, emerging from the permanent part of the vine is growing white grapes. You isolate that, you plant some more, you get Pinot Blanc, apparently. Pinot Blanc from Elk Cove. We have more often historically carried their Pinot Gris, but I was so glad to see that somebody took Pinot Blanc seriously. In California, we had a fling with it. I think there were very few Pinot Blanc makers in California left because, frankly, they were botching it. They were treating it like Chardonnay and putting it in oak and barrel fermenting and giving it too much new wood and smothering Pinot Blanc. Pinot Blanc is not as assertive in character as Chardonnay, and you can't give it the same treatment. The better thing to do is to give it a stainless steel cold fermentation application, and that's what they do here. Totally bright. Very clean, perfect for this warm weekend coming up. This is not buttery, oaky Pinot Blanc of years past. This is bracing, vibrant, lively, It's great warm weather white wine, and that's why it is the refreshing white glass of the week. We want to stay on this Elk Cove subject for a second and say that we're also pouring their Pinot Noir. In fact, there's an entire flight of red grapes, red wines that you can try, and that's where this glass comes in again. This glass is so ideal for so many wines. We want to prove it to you tonight. This will be the only glass employed for the entire red flight. The New World Pinot Noir glass will have, in fact, Pinot Noir in it first, a beautiful one from Elk Cove, and then Grenache from Washington State in the form of Sparkman. And then we'll go to Priorat. This is Grenache again, but it's a much darker one, grown in slate and clay. It's actually not Priorat, it's Mont-Saint, but Mont-Saint surrounds Priorat, so it's grown very near there, but the price is not near Priorat's pricing. So you get to save a little money by going to Mont-Saint, which is a neighbor of more famous Priorat. Wow, look at the darkness happening in that Grenache. That's rather surprising color for that grape. Thin-skinned grape, which does not usually yield so much beautiful color. Oh, it smells so good out of this glass. Honestly, this is the idea this week, to talk not just about different cool grapes, different wines that we love, but how a glass shape can magnify and be the proper venue for these wonderful wines. That's European. Good, sturdy stuff. Well, let's stay in Europe and show you a wine we tasted just yesterday and said, can you leave that bottle? We'll put it on our wine bar tonight and we'll bring in 2 cases today. So any minute now, the doorbell's gonna ring and a delivery guy will bring us 2 cases of this gorgeous E. Gigal Crozes Hermitage. That means it's from an area called Crozes Hermitage in the Northern Rhone, and it's made entirely of a grape called Syrah. Syrah loves this glass. We want to prove it to you today. So there's a little bit left in this bottle. I hope that delivery guy gets here soon because I'm going to need more than just this little amount. So he's probably the most famous producer in the Northern Rhone, and some purists will say, yeah, but he goes in a modern way. You know, he uses too much oak and so on. And the fact is, we tasted his Côte-Rôtie, a wine that cost twice as much as this, right next to this. That wine, for my palate, had too much oak. This wine was elegant, beautiful, and the oak does not stick out. So maybe he saved money on all that, on those barrels, and used more neutral wood for this less expensive wine. It's a very good thing. This is super elegant Northern Rhone Syrah. We don't always carry a name this famous, like E. Gigal from the Northern Rhone, but thought this is one time when quality and character jive with price. We like what this costs for the type. We like its delivery. We love it in this glass. The New World Pinot Noir glass, guys. We've ordered more of these glasses. They're coming today. I mean, I'm supposed to spit it out, right? Sorry, I didn't. We're gonna finish that flight with yet another Syrah, but we're gonna come home. Let's be American this weekend and finish off with a red, white, and blue wine. So this is gonna be Syrah from the Sonoma Coast. Sonoma Coast is a vast wine region. It's probably not a great name because not all of it is all that coastal. And yet this wine comes mostly from the Fort Ross Seaview area, which is way out there on the wispy, briny, foggy, cold, wind-whipped Sonoma Coast. The true Sonoma Coast, we sometimes call it. This is by Redcar. And when you pour it, knowing that it's Syrah, you might anticipate a more purple wine landing in your glass, but I don't know if you can see this on the video, but it's actually rather red. Red in color, very, very not so purple. And yet, one reason is because of where it's grown, and also because it's a 2014, so the color is fading slightly. It's had a little bit of extra time in the bottle. I want you to smell this wine. That's what this glass is all about, showing you a beautiful aroma. It helps control alcohol of big alcohol wines compared to the regular Pinot Noir glass, and it just magnifies nose. I love it when Syrah has pepper going on, and that's happening here. Wow. Very, very elegant. I think the Crozes Hermitage that came before from Europe, from Northern Rhone, is actually darker in flavor than this wine. This wine's more ethereal, more, it's almost more gas than actual liquid in its properties. Very airy, very lovely, perfumey. Check out the red car. We just brought it aboard too. Most of these wines are brand new for us, or at least the vintages are. So we hope you check them out. I'm wondering if there's anything else I can gab on and on about. I think there is. There's just one more wine I want to show you. I've already mentioned that we're representing Elk Cove wines from Oregon, from the Willamette Valley, twice on this weekend's wine bar menu. Here's one that's not going on the menu, of which we just bought 18 bottles. This is a higher end Pinot Noir called La Boheme. It's a single vineyard Pinot from this producer called Elk Cove. I got the opportunity to try two of their higher end single vineyard wines right next to each other. One wine was a little more sexy, more ready to drink, perhaps more appealing to the California wine drinker. This wine was a little more structured and durable, dark, a little more grim right now at least. If you waved it around, it started to crack a smile. And I had this dilemma, like which one should I buy? I really wanted to buy one, or we kind of needed a higher end Oregon Pinot Noir down there. So I thought, I'm gonna buy one of these, I'm gonna buy one. What do I buy? And I thought, well, I could buy it for the California Pinot Noir customer, but is that what I wanna show the Pinot Noir customer? Do I wanna give them an Oregon Pinot Noir that behaves like it's from California? Or do I wanna give them things that I think are maybe a little more representative? So we went here. This is a wine you can put down for a while. La Boheme from Elk Cove. It's not ridiculously expensive. I think it's somewhere in the 40s, but it's going to be something that you can, in fact, save for a while if you have a temperature-controlled cabinet. So please consider this. We won't be pouring it on the flight, but you will have heard about it here. And if you're an inquiring mind, loving, thoughtful, complex, and not so over-the-top, fruit-forward Oregon Pinot Noir, then you really deserve to have this wine. It's been a long video, but I think actually we did better than most as far as time goes. I want you just to consider once again that Burgundy event coming up soon. Those of you who are into this wine type will scramble for the keyboard and get signed up. And unfortunately, we can only have 24 of you. It's a nice setting that way. It's the room is nice with 24 instead of the 45 that we used to cram up here. So let's make it nice and comfortable for you. Order a cheese platter to go along, and can't wait to see you there. But let's see you sooner. Come see us this holiday weekend. Visit our wine bar. Enjoy wines out of this fantastic glass, the New World Pinot Noir glass, which accommodates so many other varieties as well. Thank you again. Have a terrific 4th and a good Monday off if you're getting that too. See ya.